Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your news report, second stimulus check update, and second stimulus package update for December 7th. Jobless benefits for 1.2 million New Yorkers are about to expire, according to Democrat and Chronicle. Two critical unemployment programs that are part of the federal bailout earlier this year are expiring December 26th, leaving about 12 million workers in the nation facing an uncertain future as Congress looks to negotiate a deal in the coming days. About 38,000 low-wage Connecticut workers who are ineligible for supplemental federal unemployment benefits over the summer will receive about $1,800 in stimulus pay. That's under a new executive order from Governor Lamont. And Senator Josh Hawley has urged Trump to veto the next stimulus bill. According to Politico, the Missouri Republican lobbied Trump to veto any stimulus bill that does not contain a second round of stimulus payments. Now before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. That way you'll never miss all of the newest and most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check information. Let's get this video to 5,000 likes if you think that Congress must pass more stimulus relief before the end of the year. My message to our American government is to pass stimulus relief. The good, hardworking American people need help. Now is the time to act. If you agree with my message, then leave a comment down below saying, I agree.
The idea of the liability package, the last I understood it was the Democrats were in favor of saying, okay, we'll give you liability, but that only gets you through the beginning of next year, and then it has to be renegotiated. And I think that McConnell would like to see something that's a little more permanent than that. Is there movement on that? Where does that stand right now?
Well, let's just say right now it's moving back and forth. And so if somebody's going to sue a bar, alleging that they were infected at the bar, when initially, but you know, there's this murkiness of guidelines at the outset. How do you decide what is your standard? I'm not an attorney, but is it gross negligence? Is it ordinary negligence? How much you spend on causation? And you could just bankrupt a small business just by the process of establishing whether or not they adhered to a safe harbor at a certain point in time. By the way, what is a safe harbor?
Is it the Republicans or the Democrats that are holding back your second stimulus payments? Tell me what you think in the comments down below, everybody. And according to the Connecticut Post, about 38,000 low-wage Connecticut workers who are ineligible for supplemental federal unemployment over the summer will make about $1,800 in retroactive pay under a new executive order from Governor Lamont. It will cost the state $7.5 million to leverage $55 million in federal pandemic support, giving those who made less than $100 a week in benefits up to $300 a week for July, August, and September. Lamont said it's worth it to provide extra pay during the upcoming holidays. He said on Friday, this is a really complicated time for people. The pandemic has led to more than 1 million claims for unemployment benefits in the state of Connecticut since March. He also told reporters it's also wreaking havoc with a lot of family budgets and small businesses. And we've got to use every tool in the toolkit as we try to maximize support for working families in the state, as we continue to wait for the federal government to figure out what they're going to do. The governor described the average newly eligible workers as single parents who may be working 2 or 3 jobs and getting paid around the minimum wage.
So that murkiness is what we need to clear up. We feel like it could have a chilling effect upon, a bankrupting effect upon small businesses. So we're trying to work through that process and then going forward. Again, it's moving back and forth, but I do think that folks are trying to find a solution.
Lamont said, maybe at the fast food, maybe at the restaurant, maybe home health care. If she loses 1 or 2 of those extra jobs, she's now down to less than $100 a week, and she was frozen out of any unemployment support, and that was wrong. Everybody tell me in the comments down below, is this a good idea from Governor Lamont of Connecticut? He is giving 38,000 low-wage Connecticut workers $1,800 stimulus payments. So do you think that your states or your city will do the same thing and follow what Governor Lamont's doing? We already know that Washington, D.C. and New Mexico have already began giving out stimulus payments to the residents. So do you think that your governor or your mayor will do the same? Tell me what you think in the comments down below, everybody. According to Democratic Chronicle, more than 1.2 million New Yorkers got their unemployment insurance through a federal program that is set to expire at year's end. That's a crucial safety net for people out of work due to the pandemic. And few states have more on the line than New York. The 1.2 million New Yorkers got benefits last month from the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, ranking second among states behind only California. And another 717,000 got the Unemployment from Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program. Now, Governor Cuomo said this: despite the worsening economic picture, many critical support programs that were put in place early this year have already expired, and the few remaining ones are set to expire just days after Christmas. This is simply unacceptable and must be rectified. Everybody tell me in the comments down below, do you think that the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, will give his residents more stimulus relief and unemployment benefits?
If we don't tie them over, and the family which may be homeless, and the folks whose unemployment runs out so they lose their car, you're not going to help them because, oh my gosh, you're not giving them something that I want them to get. At some point, we got to, one, recognize the need, recognize that this is a relief package, but recognize that we can't do everything for everybody, so we have to do as much as we can for as many people as we can. If we can do that, then I think we get a package through. I recognize the hurt, and the folks working on this committee recognize the hurt. I hope all my colleagues do too.
According to Political News, Senator Josh Hawley urges Trump to veto the next stimulus bill. The Missouri Republican lobbied Trump to veto any stimulus bill that does not contain a second round of stimulus checks. Hawley argues that it is wild that a Senate GOP proposal and a bipartisan $908 billion plan offers aid but doesn't include more checks like those $1,200 payments in March. And he said Trump seemed receptive to the argument. We had a good conversation about it, and a pretty thorough conversation. He asked a number of questions about the state of play of the different proposals, and I think it's fair to say that he was surprised at the direction that some of these were headed. That's what Hawley said, according to Political News. The White House declined to comment on Hawley's conversation with Trump. Judd Deere, a White House spokesperson, said President Trump understands that Americans are hurting and need relief, which is why the White House continues to engage with those in congressional leadership who are serious about moving quickly to approve billions of dollars in aid. If Trump were to take an antagonistic approach toward a bipartisan, bicameral proposal of $908 billion in new aid, it could easily sink the effort and delay a new round of relief until Joe Biden is sworn to office in January. Trump, who has not been deeply involved in talks since negotiations broke down before the election, seemed to support the bipartisan effort last week. But according to Political News, Hawley argued that it's not too late to change course, and that direct payments should be the cornerstone of any package, not something that's viewed as too expensive to tack onto money for governments, hospitals, and schools. The PUA, or Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, provides federally funded unemployment benefits after a state's payments end. The program allows those typically not covered by unemployment, such as freelancers or self-employed workers, to receive 46 weeks of federal benefits.